hurts those that it is supposed to help. Now, let me know if you guys agree with that. Does Social Security's money grab to reclaim overpayments hurt more than it's supposed to help? Drop me some comments, guys. And it's time for our elected officials of Congress and all branches of government, for that matter, to make significant changes and take care of the millions of Americans who have paid into Social Security benefits programs. Am I right, or am I off base? Now, people, especially those on low income, Social Security, SSI, SSDI, VA benefits programs, and or Social Security across the board, need a substantial increase to survive all of this inflation. Public workers may actually receive reduced Social Security benefits, but the good news is that there's a growing support in Congress right now to change that or even eliminate it. The 2024 cost of living adjustment has already been announced, and it has yet to come into effect. The Social Security Administration released the cost of living adjustment, the COLA increase for next year, but the adjustment is implemented in order to complement or counteract the effects of inflation and changes in the cost of living over time. So every year, the SSA calculates the cost of living adjustment in order to increase the purchasing power so that Social Security beneficiaries will not be adversely affected by higher prices. Now, if there has been an increase in inflation, the administration also increases the Social Security payments. Now, these payments administered by the SSA, they're affected by the COLA, and they include Social Security benefits for retired workers and survivors. We're talking Social Security, disability insurance, the SSDI, and of course the SSA program that's called the Supplemental Security Income, also known as SSI. But let me ask you guys, I'm pretty sure that nothing quite brightens a retiree's day like finding an unexpected check waiting for them in the mailbox, right? Now, it's that moment when you kind of like feel this surge of excitement, thinking that, a surprise might be in store for you. Yet sometimes even the most well-intentioned surprises can actually leave you with a little bit of a sense of unease, if that makes any sense, right? Like receiving a check out of the blue, right? Now, this is a story that kind of resonates with countless retirees who have navigated this complex maze called Social Security, right? By the way, if you guys can hear me, just drop a quick comment down below. Make sure my audio is good. And if you guys can see me, that would be totally great. I really appreciate you guys. Sometimes going live is a little finicky sometimes. And if you guys appreciate the content that I'm dropping, please just take a second, drop a quick like for the video. I totally appreciate you guys. I really do. I hope you guys appreciate the content that I share with you and all of the updates that I provide on a regular basis. So anyway, I just want to thank you guys. So the government wants complete control over the people who are on retirement, VA, SSDI, and SSI. Let's be honest, right? I mean, if I'm off base, you guys let me know. In fact, a recent poll shows that instead of funding millions of dollars of our taxes to help illegals, they want to, or they're saying that they need to give it to seniors and the disabled. I don't know how accurate that poll is, meaning the poll is accurate because it's a poll, but does this represent how you guys feel? You guys can let me know, please. Now, President Joe Biden wants Congress to provide $106 billion in supplemental funding, with the bulk of this $106 billion going to bolster Ukraine's defenses and the remainder to split between the Israel conflict with Hamas war. Hopefully we can avoid a World War III. Of course, you've got the Indo-Pacific and the border enforcement as well. How many of you guys think that more of this money needs to go toward the border enforcement, or is that just too late? Is it just a lost cause at this point? Now, after they tax everything, after the government taxes everything, then they want to go ahead and tax your taxes, right? So, and if they're not allowed to tax something, they just kind of do it anyway, and they kind of call it a fee, right? So you paid into the Social Security system through your paycheck, they taxed your paycheck. Then they want to, once you qualify for Social Security, want to tax your Social Security benefits, which was a tax to begin with. So I think retirees should not have to pay taxes on SSI, SSDI, Social Security benefits, VA benefits, and probably even lower the property taxes, especially since inflation has inflated asset values, which of course affect your property taxes. But you guys let me know what you think about that. So Social Security Administration, SSA, it's a household name touching the lives of 71 million people across the United States. So whether you're a retiree, a disabled worker, basically, you've likely encountered this massive government agency called the Social Security Administration. So you know exactly who they are. You guys know who I'm talking about, right? And however, beneath this facade is there's a recurring issue that's happening, and it continues to haunt both the SSA and Social Security beneficiaries across the board. And what I'm talking about here are this overwhelming, I almost want to call it like an epidemic of people receiving these letters in the mail and almost threatening letters saying that they owe money. And, it's a very unpleasant surprise, and the story starts off with this very unsuspecting retiree, such as might even be yourself. I mean, if you guys have received a letter, you guys let me know, who finds an unsuspected or unexpected letter or check in their mailbox. Now, this check, while seemingly a cause for celebration, it raises a few questions. It's not every day that you receive an unscheduled windfall. And of course, instinctively, you might wonder about the source of this mysterious money, this mysterious check, right? This payment. Well, a few weeks later, another surprise arrives in the form of a letter from the Social Security Administration. And of course, the letter offers an explanation for the unexpected check. And according to the SSA, they have increased your monthly benefit because the previous amount was incorrect. The reason? Well, a rather glaring oversight on their part. So basically, the government, the SSA, the Social Security Administration, they're kind of like, oh, my bad. So they send a letter to you and admit their mistake. So a rather glaring oversight on their part, and that they had failed to include your 2022 earnings when calculating your benefit, resulting in an error that needed correction. In other words, the SSA made a big mistake, right? And so this isn't the first time you've received such an underpayment notice. In fact, it's become something of a recurring theme. And you may have received at least two other notices in the past, each informing you of errors on your benefit calculations. It seems that the SSA's their pattern, their issue for issuing underpayment notices has become rather regular and a part of your retirement experience, right? Social Security, an institution dating all the way back to like 1935, has been entrusted by the public, people like me and you, with the welfare of countless retirees. We were told that, hey, if you pay into the system, you don't have to worry about retirement. You'll be good. You're straight. Nothing to worry about. However, despite its lengthy history, the SSA continues to grapple with an issue that appears to have no easy resolution: overpayments, right? So beneficiaries who often place their utmost trust in the Social Security Administration, they're left to navigate a very convoluted system that frequently results in hefty overpayments. Now, here we are talking about people who have invested into their 401ks over the years, their IRAs, stock market, real estate investments, mutual funds, index funds, trying to get ready for retirement. And a part of that retirement portfolio may have included an expected payment from the Social Security Administration to make it through your golden years so that you could retire, hopefully in a beautiful place, maybe with a paid off home, lowered property taxes. But this wasn't the case for Gwen. So Gwen, an individual caught up in this bureaucratic web, serves as a stark example for the system Social Security's flaws. In fact, Gwen's battle with the SSA stemmed from its decision to dramatically reduce her disability benefits due to overpayments that span several years. So if you're on SSDI, you probably understand what I'm talking about here. So the consequences here are rather dire, with the SSA reclaiming the overpaid amount from her monthly benefits. And Gwen, she found herself struggling to make ends meet. She made her heartfelt pleas for assistance, but of course her circumstances made it rather difficult for her to receive the help that she desperately needed. So sadly, Gwen's story took a tragic turn as she passed away without a resolution to her struggles. So the woman died before she even got her Social Security benefits resolved. So Gwen's case highlights this inherent unfairness of holding individuals accountable for overpayments caused but the very own administration itself, right? So, as Gwen has repeatedly stated, it ain't fair. Her sentiment echoed the frustrations to countless other people who have literally fallen victim to the same system that places the burden of responsibility on beneficiaries. By the way, if you guys are enjoying the show, if you appreciate the updates, the information, please drop a quick like for the video. We have several hundred people in here. If I can get half of you guys to drop a quick like for the video, I would totally appreciate that. Also, I'm going to leave a link to the information, to the sources of this information in the description down below this video. So if you guys want to follow up, I'm not making this stuff up. This literally is happening. Okay. So anyway, so the plight of Gwen and many other people recently have come under the spotlight when 60 Minutes ended up profiling a Chicago couple, Stephen and Becky Sword, facing a very similar predicament. So anyway, interviewed by Anderson Cooper, Becky Sword recounted her astonishment upon discovering that she and her husband owed Social Security a staggering almost $52,000. And the problem is big when 60 Minutes gets involved, right? So anyway, despite their diligence in reporting Stephen's earnings and eligibility by faxing the pay stubs to the SSA, the Sword family found themselves in a seemingly inexplicable predicament. So even though the SSA had sent them a letter indicating an increase in Stephen's benefits to account for his 2019 earnings, they were burdened with a colossal debt owed to the Social Security agency. In fact, the scenario bore an uncomfortable resemblance to your own experiences with SSA, because you guys have already told me some of you guys are experiencing this. Hyde says, my brother got one. Thank you for keeping us updated. Thank you, Sheila. You're welcome. Christine Reynolds. They took money from me. I haven't received anything extra. Peace and blessings from Mina Jackson. I really appreciate you guys. So the SSA holds a unique position in the lives of many, at this point, millions of Americans. It tracks us from birth through your very first job until your final days of employment. And even after we're gone, they're still tracking us. So this extensive record keeping is a testament to the trust that we as beneficiaries place on SSA. It's an entity that for decades has managed our personal information and has ensured our financial well-being in retirement. Yet, despite this trust that we've left in the SSA, the issue of overpayments continues to go on. There appears to be no immediate incentive for the SSA to rectify this problem, and it's leaving countless retirees in a very precarious financial situation in their retirement during one of their most vulnerable periods of their life. So the question is this: what will it take to prompt change within this SSA? Maybe the looming threat of artificial intelligence and technological advancements will compel the agency to address its systemic issues. Maybe not. But unfortunately, Gwen did not live to see the resolution of her struggles with SSA. However, her story, along with that of the Swords, it really just kind of serves as a stark reminder of the urgent need for reform within the Social Security Administration. It's a call for justice and fairness. It's just not fair. And, ensuring that the beneficiaries are not unfairly burdened with the consequences of the agency's errors. It's not your fault. It's not my fault, So in the aftermath of 60 Minutes' expose on this, the segment offered some practical tips to prevent overpayment. So one option is to request a waiver using Form SSA 632. The request for waiver of overpayment recovery. Now, I hope you guys are taking notes on this, right? So this avenue could be pursued if you believe that you should not be held responsible for an overpayment due to circumstances that were beyond your control and your inability to afford the repayment. So basically, if you think that you're in a situation where you can't afford to pay this thing back, you need this form, SSA 632. So again, I'm going to leave a link in the description down below for the information that I'm sharing with you guys. Drop a like if you appreciate the updates, if you appreciate the information. But in the end, like, the story of Social Security overpayments is just one of recurring errors and systemic flaws within the SSA. It's a tale that kind of like raises questions about fairness, accountability, and trust in a vital government agency. So, while change seems to be on the horizon, countless retirees like yourself continue to grapple with the consequences of a system that often falls short of its intended purposes. So, anyway, I'm gonna keep you guys posted on what's going on with this whole thing. I really appreciate you guys in the comment section down below. You guys are so freaking awesome. And thank you for confirming. Wow, I can't believe how many of you guys have actually received letters like this already. This is just crazy. So yeah, something needs to be done about it. We're going to definitely continue to follow up on this, and I'm going to keep an eye on any future Social Security updates, increases for Social Security, COLA updates, cost of living, anything going on in the world of SSI, SSDI in future videos. By the way, the new channel is called Truth Exposed. Make sure you guys check it out. I'll leave a link for the new YouTube channel, Truth Exposed, in the details down below in the description of the video. And I'm going to see you guys on the next one.